Pysanky eggs. They are a Ukrainian Easter tradition where they take eggs and they draw elaborate, beautiful designs on them in wax. And it's kind of like batik for an egg. And then you dip it in different colored dyes, and the end result is absolutely fabulous. It's an art form. This is not that. This is kind of the the easier version for people who need instant gratification. So let me see, is this heating up? Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take crayon wax. Got these at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. Best deal ever. It's a 24 pack, all the colors you need. And I made a little form to put it on. So this is one of those things that you put, like you're supposed to keep your cup of coffee on it or something to keep it warm. And I usually put a candle on it so I don't have to burn candles, and then I can get the smell of a candle. So I'm using it with that, which I made by taking tin foil and pressing it into, again, another Dollar Tree thing, into a little paint palette and smoothing it out to make little wells. And then I just set it on that and broke off pieces of crayon and dropped it in there. And right now I've got red, orange, green, and pink. And this is my practice egg, so I've been practicing on it. So the next thing you need is a pencil with an eraser. And the eraser has to be pretty good eraser. It can't be like the eraser's all worn down. And a pin. I don't know if you can see that. Just a regular pin, like you'd pin on, like if you're sewing, a pin close together. And so you stick the pointy end in the eraser so that you've got the flat end sticking out. So you need that. This is what I dyed the eggs. I only dyed 2. And I blew them out, and I used the innards for cornbread today. I don't usually eat eggs, but I bought these special for this project. So how this works is you put the crayon in the little wells and you let it get very, very melty. And I've had this off for a little while, so it's going to have to heat back up. And I think that, and those colors are pretty brightly colored, so my practice, they're pretty bright colors. And so I thought maybe I would try a yellow and a blue in this well and see how that works. So I'd rather have a lighter blue. Let's see. That's blue green. Beautiful. Beautiful. I don't know what beautiful means, but okay. I'm watching to see if my grandkids get on, because I gave them a heads up that I was going to do this. There's just straight blue, and there's cerulean. Let's see. That's straight blue. Ooh, I think this one. So I think that, so I'm just going to break off a piece. I think that what I need, though, is to put some plain wax in there with it to kind of temper it, or white. Maybe I'll just use some of this white crayon to kind of dilute it a little bit, maybe, so maybe it's not so bright, because I think the bright colors, I don't know, I kind of wanted a little bit of a lighter color. So I watched a couple of videos of people doing it, and at first I tried it and it was not working out. It was really not working, and the wax just, the crayon wax immediately cooled, and it wasn't smoothly doing anything. Then I watched a video by a lady she's from Ukraine, and when she was a kid, her mom would decorate Easter eggs. So maybe the night before Easter, her mom would do this, and this is how she did it, because she was a mom who has time to make an art form with multiple dips and different dyes and all of that, which they were very pretty anyway. And And the lady said that in the morning the kids would be excited and see the eggs, and they'd smash the eggs, and then they'd ruin all of her beautiful work that she did. But that's the way of children. In this case, I don't have any kids to do that, so that's too bad. So we'll take a little white and put in there with that blue. So originally, the art of decorating eggs probably in some manner similar to the original Pysanky Ukrainian style. But certainly it was putting decor on eggs, putting symbols on eggs was a pagan thing that they did. And so if you put a sun, symbol of a sun, it meant honoring the sun god. If you put a straight line or a line that went all the way around the egg, that meant eternity. Flowers honored nature and spring and new life. And so there were quite a lot of different meanings for it. And then Christianity kind of just absorbed it. And what happened is, I think that what happened, and I'm just guessing, but I think that what happened is way back when the Christian crusaders came into places, especially like Ireland, and there were these people that were pagan. And all pagan means is that they weren't practicing a Christian form of religion or a Judeo-Christian form of religion. They were honoring more natural things and looking at the seasons and the sun. And of course, farmers have done that for eons, and so there's nothing unusual about that. But the Christian people didn't, they wanted to somehow convert these pagans to Christianity. And so one of the ways they did that is by kind of just absorbing those people's traditions to be Christian, and that's how they did it. Okay, I'm going to check and see if any of these are my grandkids. I don't see my grandkids. If you are one of my grandkids, say something that's longer than just a hi. Okay? All right. So now I think I also want yellow, because I'd kind of like to put the sun symbol on, which I think it's be easy. I think that I'm not good enough to be able to do anything other than maybe flowers and suns and maybe some stylized things like that, because I can't get enough wax on that to make it go for longer than just a moment. So I'm going to put, oh, here's a lighter green. Geez, that'd be nice. Well, I'll do yellow. Let's hope it works. So the trick that I hadn't understood when I was doing it the first time, because I just watched a video and watched this person doing it, and they were doing it tremendously well, and it was turning out lovely, is that you have to keep your little pin on the end of your pencil hot. Otherwise, the wax immediately cools, and then it won't flow off of the pencil. So on my practice egg, what am I stepping in? Oh my God. I probably spilled something nasty on the floor. Okay, so on my practice egg, I'm going to show you how you do it, and then we'll start maybe getting those softening up, those melting. Okay, so you take the pin and you put it in. We'll do pink because pink seems to work really well and it's pretty. Well, you put it in there and you let it sit for a minute, because you want the pin to get hot so that the wax will flow off of it. And that's why you want to practice egg, because you're going to have to check to see if it's working or not. And if you just start right in on your eggs that you want to have be your final stuff, you might end up having globs. Okay, and then pull it. Okay, that wasn't hot enough. So once it's hot enough, You put it on and pull. Put it on, pull. And you maybe if you had a bigger pin head or something, or I don't know, some other tool, you could, I don't know if you can see that, the light's kind of shining on it. So um, you just you're just putting it down and pulling it. And it will only work when this is hot and you've got hot wax on it. It will not work once that cools off. So let's try melting these others and see what happens. Let's see if those colors are good. I don't know how you're supposed to clean it in between. The lady I was watching, she just wiped it off, but that doesn't really, I mean, you know, it's still on there. It's crayon, for God's sake. I don't know. So I had these fantasies that I was going to do this, and it was going to be really fun and easy, and it was going to turn out beautifully. And it's a lot harder than I thought. So they're not going to be amazing, but I'm having fun. So I guess that's all that matters. Look, isn't this cool how it melts so fast? It's just melting. It's just melting. Just melty, melty. The blue with the white in there, that's gonna have to melt longer because they're more of it. So yeah. So I don't know what your traditions are in your family for Easter weekend, but ours have traditionally been that we decorate eggs, and then the night before Easter, the eggs are left out for the Easter bunny to hide. And in the morning, the eggs are hidden around the house, generally inside the house. For one reason, in Nevada, it was warm outside by the time Easter came around, and there were animals and stuff, and you just didn't really want to have the eggs outside. And in Wisconsin, you didn't know you might get a snowstorm. So in fact, they got a snowstorm today. So you didn't want the eggs to be outside. So the eggs were hidden inside. And in the morning, the kids would get up and there would be an Easter basket for each child. And the Easter basket typically contained candy and a small toy. And I know some people give elaborate Easter baskets to their kids with all kinds of stuff, like tons of toys and stuff. And I never did that. I didn't get that when I was a kid. And I didn't see the point, and I didn't. One small toy seemed like it was reasonable. We often, for whatever reason, got a thing of bubble blower, so you can blow bubbles. And one year, I remember when I was a kid, we got silly string, and that was a mess because 6 kids running around with cans of silly string. That was really wild. So anyway, that's what we did when I was a kid, and what we did when my kids were little, and probably some of my grandkids. I don't know how the youngest grandkids, great grandkids, how their Easters go in the morning. I haven't spent Easter with them in years now, but I would imagine it's some variation of that. And then generally on Easter, later on in the day, we would have a meal. Now, when my father was alive and when my kids were little, we would go to his house and we would have brunch at his house. And so that usually involved ham and kind of a combination of breakfast and lunch stuff like a brunch usually is. So like I might make a potato salad and bring it, and we almost always had pineapple upside down cake. And so that was kind of our tradition. Now that there aren't little kids living with me, there have been some Easters I haven't done anything. My daughter, her children are grown, but she still does, she kind of throws some stuff together and has fun and provides some candy. And this year we're going to have a meal, and it's going to be kind of low key. They have some health challenges. So that's, yeah. And then I'm heading back to Wisconsin. Yeah, I am not looking forward to going back because I know it's still cold there, but you know, that's what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do, right? Okay, let's give these a little stir. Oh, I got kind of a little mix of color here. Ooh, that's gonna turn that green. Because you know, blue and yellow, that's green. Okay, stay in your own little place. Don't migrate over into the yellow. Well, it's got a little bit of green tint. Oh well. Maybe I won't use that for sun. Okay, so let's just see. We'll try this yellow. Let's see what it looks like on the green egg. And again, I didn't clean it in between. I don't know how I would clean it. Unless I had like a little thing of boiling water and I dipped it in there, but then I'd have water on it, so I don't know how that would work. Okay, let's see. Nope. Not hot enough. So I'm not rubbing it around. I'm just holding it flat down against the bottom of the foil, which is against the heating element on this little pad thing. And so it's at the place that's hottest. Yeah, there we go. Okay, well, you know, that might be all right. So I would guess that a sun we'd probably put a, ooh, it's green. Well, a sun would not be green. That reminds me, did you watch the Artemis 2 take off to the moon the other day? That was pretty exciting. Although I was so traumatized by the Challenger blowing up. I can remember that like it was yesterday. I think anybody who lived through that was probably extremely traumatized by it. It was horrible because you know you're watching people die. So every time I watch anything take off, I feel just a little bit nervous. And this time was no exception, except maybe it was a little worse because I knew there were people in there and I knew that that rocket was going to go all the way to the moon. It wasn't just going to the space station. So that they got off without a hitch, and it looks like it's going to be a successful mission. And although I heard they had a problem with their toilet, and then somebody on the news said that this was the first manned flight with a regular toilet. It did not look like a regular toilet to me. It looked like a diaper genie. If you have children, you know what a diaper genie is. It's a can, basically a can, that has something in it that when you drop something in it, like a diaper or you use it, or a toilet, I suppose. Okay. Okay, I think that will work, but it's not very, the yellow's not very obvious. Okay, let's try the, see if this blue is getting ready. So anyway, there was some problem with the toilet, but they didn't say what the problem with the toilet was. They just showed this toilet that looked like a can, like a diaper genie. And so if you were to imagine a diaper genie, when you put something in, it just like, the diaper drops in and then the thing goes and twists around and seals it up in a bag. And I think that's what they do. I think that the astronauts use the toilet and then their butt like makes a seal on the seat. And then inside, once they're done, it goes and it seals it up. That's what I think. I don't have any proof of that, mind you, but that's what I think. I'm sticking to it. Okay, this blue one's taking a lot longer because there's a lot more wax in it. And I don't want to rub it around too much because I don't want that foil to tear. That would not be good. Well, I hope this has inspired you to do something similar because it takes so little. I mean, you could make a contraption. In fact, the video that I watched, what she took is a Coke can, like a soda pop can, and she cut a little window out of the side, and she put a tea light candle in it. And on the bottom of a soda can, it's kind of dipped in, and that's where she put the crayon. And so the heat from the candle went up and melted that crayon. Although she did mention that there was a smell associated with it, so I wonder if that might be dangerous to have to heat up that soda pop can, which is probably not pure aluminum, or, I don't know what's in it. Let's see. Nope. So all you need is a way to get the crayon to melt and to stay warm. If you have one of these, which most people do have, use that. If not, you probably could even use some other type of thing. You could, I know the wax warmers that people use for little wax melts, little scented wax melts, that might work. And a pencil with an eraser and a pen and crayons. And the crayons, again, I got at Dollar Tree, all of these crayons for $1.25. Pretty darn simple. The eggs I blew out in Ukraine, they keep them raw. Can't even imagine. Can you imagine raw eggs sitting around in your house for who knows how long? That sounds gross. But that's what they do. And almost, ooh, the blue is pretty. Blue is pretty. Once it's melted enough. Yeah, so it's an easy one. Kids can do it. You can do it. The secret is making sure that pen gets hot. You can do it. Well, thanks for coming along. I never saw my kids get on there, unfortunately, but maybe they'll catch it in the replay, and we'll see how it goes. Thanks for dropping in. Talk to you later. Bye.